It's your boy Will, and I am here with a new series to review and talk about on a kind of weekly basis. We'll see how this goes. But that I am going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of Andor. I guess I'm just going to call it Andor. It's Star Wars Andor. Sounds like you're saying Star Wars and or something else. This is going to be a spoiler review for the first 3 episodes of Andor, so if you haven't watched the episodes yet, please pause this video, go watch them, and then come back and hear my spoilery thoughts on the first 3 episodes of our newest series set during the Age of Rebellion of the Star Wars universe. Before I start talking about this, and this is just going to be kind of my general thoughts on it, a couple little spoilers here and there, where I hope the series is going, at least with this first season. Yes, it has been confirmed for 2 seasons. This first season is 12 episodes, so it's got time to breathe. That's awesome. We love that. But before I do jump into all of those thoughts and things like that, I just want to say thanks for checking out this video. If this happens to be your first time locating one of my videos of the almost, if not over, 300 videos on the channel, hi, my name's Will, and I do geeky stuff on the internet. I do a bunch of different things. I try new things. I stick with the classics like reviews and reactions. I game, I drink, I just turn on the camera and just try to be entertaining for 10 to 12 minutes at a time, depending on how I'm feeling at that moment. But if that happens to be your bag and you'd like to hear it from a Geeky Bear's perspective, why not subscribe to the channel? I am trying to get to 500 subscribers this year. Don't know if it's going to happen, but that's just the next benchmark that I can think of is 500. After that, it might be 1,000 or 10,000 or wherever this channel takes me. I don't know, but hopefully you'll stick around and you'll find out by subscribing to the channel. With that being said, let's talk about Andor. Andor is about Cassian Andor, who is the character from Rogue One, a Star Wars story, who's being portrayed by Diego Luna. Nice to see him back. He's a fantastic, wonderful actor. He's got a great presence on camera, and he plays his character really well. It's a prequel. It's obviously before he died in Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Spoilers, spoiler for a movie that's like 6 or 7 years old at this point. But yeah, he's no longer in the world of the living. So this is set during the Age of Rebellion. So this is well after the Empire has fully taken over the galaxy. And this is also where you see stuff like Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and the original 3 Star Wars movies all fit into this lovely era, just to kind of lay out the timeline pretty well. But these first 3 episodes really just kind of reintroduce us to this character that we were first introduced to in Rogue One, but obviously didn't get a lot of time to spend with him. He's a smuggler. He is a con artist. He's basically, he's just trying to get by. And one thing I will say about these first 3 episodes is that it sets the tone of this corner of the Star Wars universe really well. It feels just like it did in Rogue One. Like Rogue One, it's probably low-key one of my favorite Star Wars movies, just hands down, because it's not necessarily, it's a different side of what we've gotten with like the original trilogy stuff, with the epic adventures and the lightsabers. No, this one's kind of on the ground, boots on the ground, the low totem pole characters who honestly have some of the biggest impacts on the actual universe as a whole, besides just if your last name is Skywalker. So it really does a good job kind of showing us the not bright side of the universe, or not the epic side of the universe, where people are literally just trying to get by. And we're just kind of thrust into Cassian's current adventure, where it seems like he is trying to locate his sister. So Cassian is from a planet called Kenari, where we get flashbacks in episodes 2 and 3 about his life there and the events leading up to his eventual departure from the planet and to where he is now. So it seems like within the first episode he is looking for his sister or somebody. Most likely it's his sister based off of the flashbacks. But he does kind of get into some trouble. He gets jumped by some, I will say, galactic rental cops, because we're introduced to the pre-Kal, I think that's the name, I'm probably screwing up, but it's basically like a corporate policing force, not really Empire, but technically kind of like low totem pole Empire, who kind of run into him, kind of these guys just kind of are in the wrong place, wrong time, rough up Cassian, but obviously Cassian stands up for himself, ends up killing the two guys, and the next 2 episodes are basically him on the run, trying to right the wrongs of this mistake that has happened. And we spend the first 3 episodes being introduced to a lot of different characters within his circle, people that he has known, people who he owes money to, and people who I'm assuming are going to play a factor in future episodes, maybe not immediately, just based off of where episode 3 leaves us at the end. We introduced to one character named Vix, who she's like a mechanic, possibly a former love interest of Cassian's, but she is also kind of a smuggler. She has a contact who's very interested in meeting Cassian. She's also very kind of nervous about helping Cassian once people find out that he's in a lot more deep trouble than he originally led people to believe when he got back to the planet after the altercation. I do like some of the characters that we've met. I like Bix. I think Bix is a cool person. Marv is kind of a motherly figure to Cassian. We see in the flashbacks that Marv actually is the one who takes Cassian from his home planet when they encounter him during a recovery operation and basically try to keep him from getting hurt, it sounds like. Not a lot of information on what's actually happening in those past scenes, but we get the sense that he did not necessarily want to leave, but he also didn't fight leaving, which is probably why he's on the hunt for his sister after so many years. His skills are very, very notable. He knows how to get in and out of situations. He knows what he's doing, and that brings the attention of Luthen, who is Bix's contact. I forget the actor's name, but he plays Eric Selvig in the MCU, that actor. I put his name and picture right here. But he is the person who, based off of the interaction in episode 3, probably is going to serve more of a mentor to Cassian in his journey through what will eventually become the rebellion that we'll probably see form most notably in the series, since we are in that age of rebellion right now. I like the beginnings of their relationship, albeit it was very brief. He very much was not interested in whatever Cassian was offering. He wanted him. And it's very interesting to see how their relationship is going to form as the series continues. The sort of corporate military police thing, not full Empire or not full stormtroopers. I didn't get a lot of the names of the characters, but they definitely seem like rent-a-cops. Like especially the main guy, who is kind of the driving force that leads to Cassian having to flee the planet. He takes his job way too seriously, and he is a definite overachiever. It's that type of guy. Will he be super important? The way that they seem to set up this first 3 episodes makes me believe that he will become possibly an officer in the Imperial military, most likely. He seems too much of a focus in these 2 episodes, and his driving force to try to get Cassian seems to be something that's not going to be easily let go of just after these first 3 episodes. I'm not sure exactly timeline-wise how this season is going to work. These first 3 episodes do make a point of noting that this is 5 years BBY, which is before Battle of Yavin. If you don't know, the Battle of Yavin was the battle of the first Death Star in A New Hope. So that's how they usually kind of denote timelines or denote dates, and especially like pre-original trilogy. So anytime you see something that says like 20 BBY, it's 20 years before the Battle of Yavin. Just so you know, if you didn't know, now you know. It seems like they're going to be playing with timelines, and since we know that Rogue One takes place in the same year as the Battle of Yavin, being where that movie ended and goes immediately to the opening scene of A New Hope, we know this is 5 years before his eventual death. So within that 5 years, you're going to definitely see the full formation of the rebellion that we know and love in the original trilogy. And Cassian and probably Luthen, and most likely even some of these other characters that we were introduced to, like his friend Brasson, possibly are going to be playing factors into the formation of the rebellion as well. The way that third episode kind of culminates with this paramilitary force invading the planet that they're on, trying to get to Cassian, you see a lot of his friends and people kind of rallying together to try to not necessarily fight them off, but try to organize and try to necessarily not allow them to get what they want. Not necessarily to protect Cassian, because Cassian, unfortunately, it has put a lot of people in danger because of some of his reckless behavior, which is something that I think Luthen likes about him, but will probably help him refine that ability to get to more of the complete version of the character that we get in Rogue One, where he kind of takes on more of that role to Jyn Erso in that movie. How I think Luthen is going to play that role within this first, if not second season as well. The fact that they're doing 2 seasons leads me to believe that this is definitely going to be stretched out over the course of the 5 years leading up to Rogue One. It just makes the most sense. I would like to see some of these other characters come back, like his friend Brasson, who is, although he's a true G. He's definitely like, okay, you walk up to him out of the blue and give him a complete story. And he knows, A, this is not the first time that this has happened. And B, that's your boy. He's got your back. And respect to Brasson. I'm glad. I really would like to see him come back. I like to see Bix come back, especially after what happened to her co-worker / somewhat relationship in Tim. So Tim and Bix have like the beginnings of a relationship. Cassian unfortunately messes that up a little bit. Not to the point where I think Bix has a problem, but Tim has a problem. And Tim definitely in a drunken state makes a wrong play by informing the paramilitary group that's looking for Cassian of Cassian, which is kind of messed up, but and also ultimately leads to him getting killed by some random military guy who is overzealous with his blaster in front of Bix. And so that's something that seems to galvanize Bix in that moment as well. But one of the big galvanizing moments is that Marv is, I hope I'm pronouncing these names correctly. As we know, if you watch any of my series reviews, I'm terrible with names. But she's kind of talking to these people who are holding her hostage, and not necessarily, she doesn't use the term rebellion, but it's something about you keep pushing people long enough, people are going to start pushing back. I'm paraphrasing completely. It's not what she says. Go watch the episode. It's actually really good at what she says. But you see it kind of overlay with the people that we've been introduced, like Brazo and Bix and, Cassian. Like, we see these people who have been enduring this sort of hardship because of basically the Empire's crapped out the galaxy. And, you can see this one inciting incident is definitely going to galvanize them, which is probably why I don't think this is the last we're going to see of them. I'm curious to see where we go after episode 3. I think having these 3 first episodes come out at the same time was smart, because it really does kind of give you like a prelude episode to probably what's going to be the major portion of the first season. It gets a lot of the character introductions out of the way. We get a lot of the characters meeting their, I guess you can say, meeting their destinies in certain spots, especially with the relationship or the partnership that seems to be forming with Cassian and Luthen, and curious about where that's going to go. We kind of know where the end game is, obviously, because this is a prequel, but it's interesting to see what else we can get from fleshing out the character a little bit more. So that's going to be exciting to see how that unfolds and his evolution as a character. It's interesting to see what other characters come back. It's interesting to see who really becomes our main antagonist. Is it going to be this pencil pusher that I do not remember his name, or is it going to be somebody even more? I feel like it's going to be this guy, or a combination of people. So that's going to be interesting to see. Something about this sort of style when it comes to Star Wars works really well. I really enjoyed Rogue One and how much different it felt, but connected at the same time. And I'm feeling like Andor is also going to give me that sort of same feeling. It is not necessarily about the lightsabers or the Force or the Jedi and the Sith and all this stuff. It is literally about the people. It's about these people just trying to survive and trying to make a difference and trying to find hope in such a dark time. And I think that's going to allow for some really intense and interesting storytelling. You're going to see these characters, these heroes, and have to make decisions that aren't necessarily black and white. There's going to be a lot of gray and a lot of red in people's ledger. Just quoting Black Widow, why not? But I'm interested to see where the rest of the season goes. The fact that they're doing 12 episodes also gives me hope that they're going to allow for a lot of great character fleshing out moments and interactions that we wouldn't necessarily get in a 6 to 8 episode series. And the fact that we're getting 2 seasons as well already is also pretty exciting. Yes, it's a prequel, and there's nothing wrong with a prequel as long as you give us something interesting, something different than just what we're gonna get. I'm very down to continue to explore this series and see where it takes us. I enjoyed the first 3 episodes. I'm just curious to see where we go from here. So I believe that is all I have to say about Andor. The first 3 episodes. Let me know what your thoughts are of the first 3 episodes in the comments down below. What are some things that you're hoping to see from this series, especially since we're getting 2 seasons? Do you like the fact that Star Wars is exploring more outside of the main Skywalker timeline? Because it's a big galaxy. Like, let me know what your thoughts are on that. As always, thank you so much for checking out this and all of my videos. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video and you want to continue to see me reviewing the series, why not subscribe to the channel? Help a brother out. Trying to make this into something. I don't know. It keeps me sane. It keeps me sane. Got a ton of videos on this channel right now that you're more than welcome to check out. You can follow me on a lot of different social media platforms listed at the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And as always, until next time, with any Star Wars series, may the Force be with you, and I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.